Have you ever found yourself in a relationship that feels like an addictive roller coaster, where one moment you're soaring with happiness, and the next you're plummeting into confusion or pain? Maybe you've experienced those intense highs, moments of passion, connection, and hope, followed by devastating lows that leave you feeling lost, anxious, or even desperate for things to get better. These emotional ups and downs can be so powerful that they almost feel impossible to walk away from, even when you know deep down that something isn't right. Do you ever find yourself unable to leave, even though your mind tells you the relationship is unhealthy? Maybe you keep hoping things will change, or you remember the good times and convince yourself it's worth staying. You might feel isolated, confused, or even ashamed for not being able to break free, especially if friends or family have expressed concern. If this sounds familiar, you might be caught in the throes of trauma bonding, a powerful emotional attachment that forms in toxic or abusive relationships. Trauma bonding can make it incredibly difficult to recognize what's really happening because the cycle of affection and pain creates a confusing sense of loyalty and hope. In this video, we're going to delve into 7 crucial signs of trauma bonding that everyone should know. We'll break down the subtle patterns and behaviors that can keep you stuck, even when you want to move on. Whether you're questioning your own relationship or worried about someone you care about, understanding these signs is the first step toward clarity and healing. Recognizing these signs is the first step towards breaking free and creating healthy, fulfilling relationships. It's about reclaiming your sense of self-worth, learning to set boundaries, and discovering what real love and respect look like. You deserve to feel safe, valued, and genuinely connected, not trapped in a cycle of pain and hope. If you're ready to understand the difference between true love and the illusion of connection that comes with trauma, hit that subscribe button and join us on this journey. Together, we'll explore the signs, share real-life stories, and empower you with the knowledge to make healthier choices in your relationships. Let's dive in and start building the love and life you truly deserve. Trauma bonding often masquerades as passionate love in the beginning. You might experience exhilarating highs feeling intensely connected to your partner, but these highs are often followed by devastating lows. Explosive arguments, periods of withdrawal, and emotional manipulation become the norm. This roller coaster of emotions creates a cycle of anxiety, fear, and longing that can be difficult to break free from. It's important to remember that healthy relationships are built on a foundation of mutual respect, trust, and consistent emotional stability. If your relationship feels like a constant emotional roller coaster, it's time to take a step back and assess the situation. Trauma bonding creates a powerful, addictive dynamic that can feel almost impossible to break. When you're caught in this cycle, the relationship becomes the center of your world, dominating your thoughts, emotions, and even your sense of self. It's not just about loving someone deeply, it's about feeling like you need them to survive, even when the relationship is causing you pain. This emotional dependency can be overwhelming, making it hard to distinguish between genuine love and the compulsive need to stay connected, no matter the cost. You might find yourself utterly consumed by the relationship, unable to focus on anything else. Everyday tasks, like working, studying, or even spending time with friends, can feel impossible because your mind keeps drifting back to your partner. You may replay conversations, arguments, or moments of affection over and over, searching for meaning or reassurance. This preoccupation can leave you feeling exhausted and disconnected from the rest of your life, as if nothing else matters except the state of your relationship. Even when you're apart, your thoughts and emotions revolve around your partner. You might constantly check your phone, waiting for a message, or feel anxious when you don't hear from them. The emotional roller coaster of longing, hope, and disappointment becomes a daily experience. You may find yourself fantasizing about reconciliation after a fight or dreading the next conflict, unable to escape the emotional grip your partner has on you. This feeling of addiction stems from the intense highs and lows that characterize trauma bonding. The relationship is marked by cycles of conflict and reconciliation, where moments of pain are followed by brief periods of affection or relief. These emotional swings create a sense of unpredictability, making the good moments feel even more precious and the bad moments more devastating. Over time, your brain becomes wired to crave the highs, even as you dread the lows. The intermittent reinforcement, the occasional moments of love, affection, or validation, keeps you hooked, always hoping for more. These unpredictable rewards make it difficult to walk away because you're constantly chasing the next positive interaction. You may find yourself justifying the hurtful behavior, telling yourself that things will get better, or that the good times outweigh the bad. This hope keeps you invested, even when the relationship is clearly unhealthy. You might find it impossible to imagine your life without your partner, even when you know deep down that the relationship is unhealthy. The thought of leaving can trigger intense fear, sadness, or guilt. You may worry about being alone, losing your sense of identity, or never finding love again. These fears can keep you trapped, making it feel safer to stay in the familiar pain than to face the unknown. This feeling of dependence is a hallmark of trauma bonding and can make it incredibly difficult to leave. Recognizing these patterns is the first step toward breaking free. Remember, you deserve a relationship that brings you peace, not pain, and it's possible to reclaim your sense of self, even if it feels impossible right now. One of the most insidious aspects of trauma bonding is the tendency to excuse or rationalize your partner's hurtful actions. This pattern can be incredibly subtle, often creeping in without you even realizing it. Over time, you might notice yourself justifying things that, in a healthy relationship, would be unacceptable. For example, you might tell yourself that your partner is just having a bad day, or that their stress at work is the reason for their outbursts. You may even start to believe that their anger or criticism is somehow your fault, or that you could have prevented it if you had acted differently. You might find yourself making excuses for their behavior, blaming yourself, or minimizing their actions. This can look like saying they didn't mean it or it wasn't that bad. Sometimes you might even defend their actions to friends or family, insisting that others just don't understand your partner the way you do. This self-blame and rationalization can become a protective mechanism, shielding you from the painful reality that the relationship is unhealthy. It can also make it harder to reach out for help, because you may feel embarrassed or ashamed to admit what's really happening. This often stems from a deep-seated fear of abandonment or a belief that you don't deserve better. If you've experienced trauma in the past, you might have internalized the idea that love always comes with pain, or that you have to earn affection by tolerating mistreatment. These beliefs can keep you trapped in a cycle of excusing bad behavior, hoping that things will eventually improve if you just try hard enough. The fear of being alone or of losing the relationship can be so overwhelming that it feels safer to accept the status quo, even when it's hurting you. You might convince yourself that their behavior is a result of their past trauma, stress, or that they didn't really mean it. It's natural to want to be understanding and compassionate, especially if your partner has shared their own struggles with you. But while empathy is important, it should never come at the expense of your own well-being. Sometimes we confuse compassion with enabling, and end up tolerating patterns that are damaging to our self-esteem and mental health. It's important to recognize the difference between supporting someone and excusing behavior that crosses your boundaries. However, it's crucial to remember that no one deserves to be treated poorly, regardless of their past or present circumstances. Your feelings and experiences are valid, and you have the right to expect respect and kindness in your relationships. Surrounding yourself with supportive friends or seeking professional help can make a big difference in breaking the cycle of rationalizing bad behavior. When you start to see your own worth, it becomes easier to set healthy boundaries and demand the respect you deserve. Excusing bad behavior only perpetuates the cycle of abuse and prevents you from recognizing your own worth. Healing begins when you acknowledge the reality of your situation and give yourself permission to prioritize your own needs. Remember, you are not responsible for someone else's actions, and you are worthy of a relationship built on mutual respect, trust, and care. Taking the first step to break free from this cycle can be difficult, but it is also the most empowering choice you can make for your future. Trauma bonding often thrives on a deep-seated fear of abandonment or being alone. This fear can be so overwhelming that you stay in the relationship, even when you know it's toxic. You might believe that it's better to be with someone who hurts you than to be alone. This fear can stem from childhood experiences, past relationship trauma, or, a lack of self-worth. It's important to remember that you are worthy of love and belonging. Being alone does not equate to loneliness, and honestly, it's often in solitude that we can truly heal and grow. In a trauma-bonded relationship, it's easy to lose sight of who you are. Your needs, values, and interests might take a back seat to your partner's. You might find yourself constantly changing your behavior to please them, walking on eggshells to avoid conflict. This loss of self can leave you feeling empty, lost, and unsure of your own identity. It's crucial to remember that you are a complete individual, deserving of love and respect for who you are. Reclaiming your sense of self is an essential step in breaking free from trauma bonding. Trauma bonding often creates an environment of constant anxiety and fear. You might feel like you're walking on eggshells, never knowing what will trigger your partner's anger or displeasure. This constant state of hypervigilance can be emotionally exhausting and prevent you from feeling safe and secure in the relationship. You might find yourself censoring your thoughts and feelings, afraid to express yourself authentically. This lack of open communication and emotional safety is a clear sign that the relationship is not built on a foundation of trust and respect. Trauma bonding can create deeply ingrained patterns that are difficult to break. You might find yourself drawn to similar partners or relationships, repeating the same toxic dynamics. This is because trauma bonding can distort your perception of love and relationships. You might unconsciously seek out partners who fulfill your familiar patterns, even if those patterns are unhealthy. Breaking free from these patterns requires awareness, self-reflection, and a willingness to challenge your beliefs about love and relationships. Seeking professional help from a therapist or counselor can provide invaluable support in understanding and healing from these patterns. Trauma bonding can be an incredibly difficult experience, but it's essential to remember that you are not alone. Recognizing the signs is the first step towards breaking free and creating healthy, fulfilling relationships. If you see yourself in any of these signs, please know that there is hope and help is available. Don't hesitate to reach out to a trusted friend, family member, or mental health professional for support. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more insights on love, relationships, and healing.